What's going on, everybody? Mitch here, Mers Farm Equipment. We got a ton of Bobcat stuff here. You can see it all back behind me. We're going to talk about it here in this video. Full lineup of compact track loaders and some cool attachments to go with it. Check this out. Alright guys, we got a load of Bobcat equipment in this week, a lot of track loaders, and so we're going to let's talk about these track loaders, alright? So the first one here is this T770. So Bobcat has come out with some really cool, innovative stuff. The first thing is the Bobcat roller suspension. If you guys think your track loader has to ride like a tank, you've never ridden in one of these. This roller suspension will allow you to drive over a 4x4 piece of wood. I mean, a 4x4 could be laying here. You're going to feel it with that front roller just a tad, but all those bogey wheels, they're going to give that 3.5 inches to allow you to run over a 4x4 and barely even feel that you went over anything. You go over a curb, you go over an uneven piece of concrete like that, you'll never even know it. That track suspension is going to give as you go into your shop, anything like that, that track suspension is going to give for you. So don't feel like you're always on a teeter-totter with your tracks. Come check out the Bobcat stuff. The other thing Bobcat has now is a reversing fan. So this is our air intake here on a Bobcat. We don't have a radiator on the back. A lot of other Case, New Holland, some other machines, they've all got radiators on the back. You know you're backing into stuff. You know you're going to end up poking a hole in that radiator. Quit doing that. The other thing is a lot of other guys will bring air in right there, right above the tracks. When you're in dusty, dirty conditions and then that dust is flying, you're sucking all that dirt right into the engine. So Bobcat's figured that out. Our air intake comes from up here on top of the machine. That's the cleanest place around the machine. We're sucking the air down in there, and then right here on the side, that's where we're blowing it back out. We're pushing that dust away from our engine, and we're sucking clean air in up here. Magic, people. That's awesome. Bobcat gets it. Bobcat's got it. That's how this machine is going to last a lot longer than the other machines. Like I said, that's a reversing fan on top. So if you are out into the woods, you're doing some tree cutting, tree shearing, anything like that, you're going to get a bunch of leaves that suck down against that radiator screen up top there. If you're feeding hay, if you're feeding cattle with it, you'll get some hay that comes down on there. That fan will automatically reverse in different intervals. It will also automatically reverse if it sees an engine temperature spike. So really cool stuff that Bobcat's got coming or already out with their machines. We've got a camera here. The camera is mounted up into the cab. You can kind of see it there. We'll open up the door and take a look at that. So the camera screen, let me climb into this machine. Camera screen right up here, right up top. So when you're sitting here in the operator seat, you can look right there. You can always see what's happening behind you. It's always on. It's not in this screen over here in the corner. So we've got all kinds of other cool options. Radio, we got the air conditioning, the heat. You know, these are pretty much standard deals on a Bobcat. We also have this screen here. So it's a color screen. There is no reason to not know what's happening with your machine. You can toggle through here. See your different attachments. You can set passwords. So you saw this keyless start. So you can have a master password. You can give your neighbor a password, and when your neighbor pisses you off, you can deactivate his password. Don't let him take your machine anymore. Employee, you fire an employee, you can deactivate his password so he can't come get your machine anymore. So really cool stuff that's happening there, guys. So no active warnings in this machine. You can see your vitals. You can set your preventative maintenance, your planned maintenance, and like I say, your attachments here. You can go through and you can program all your different attachments. So all these attachments, you can program your buttons. Every time you get in the machine, you don't have to reprogram these buttons. You just go up there and pick the attachment that you've got, and your controls will be set for that. Really cool stuff. Again, something that Bobcat has that not all the other companies have. Our 2-speed. Our 2-speed on our machine. Everybody says they got 2-speed. Are they all the same? check to see how fast our 2-speed goes versus everybody else's. 9 times out of 10, you know, a case of 2-speed will go like 9-10 mile an hour, something like that. I don't know the exact term, so I'm sorry for you guys that do know the exact speed. I'm not trying to make stuff up, but I know that our 2-speed will go faster than cases in New Hollands. Their 2-speed goes, like I say, 8, 9, 10 mile an hour, something like that. This machine goes 8 mile an hour with a single speed. We don't need 2-speed to match case in New Holland. We have 2-speed so we can go 12, 13 mile an hour. That's what we do. So if you want 2-speed, if you want to have the machine to have some speed, check out to make sure that that 2-speed option is giving you the right speed. So here's a T650. This one's got the narrow tracks on it, so you can see it's a little more room there to get cleaned out. The tracks are a little narrower versus the wide tracks. You know, it gets a little closer to the machine there, so there's some benefits there. Of course, the wide tracks are maybe have a little better flotation. The narrow tracks give you a little more room to clean out. So we also have ride control. So ride control, that's your suspension in the tracks. So apologize guys, we're right here on the highway. So the ride control is the suspension in your cylinders. So if you pick up a round bale that is 1,500, 2,000 pounds and you start going across to that 2-speed, that's gonna bounce. The cylinder is gonna have some cushion in it. So really cool stuff. Here's another T770. It's got the Bale X-Series Mulcher. That's a really cool tool. I've got another video out there on the Bale stuff. Make sure to check that out if you're in the tree clearing business. If you've got brush to clean up, if you're a farmer and you want to clean up around the edge of the field, check this thing out. This thing is awesome. Bale's Goliath grapple, very cool as well. Best grapple out there, hands down, no questions about it. Heaviest grapple out there. Very cool stuff there. So like I say, Bobcat T650 there, T770 here. Then we've got the T870 over here with the Rhino bale slicer. So you hay guys, you cattle guys, here you go. This thing will grab the net wrap right there. These little hooks will grab the net wrap. Then the slicer will come, slice the round bale in half. It'll hold the net wrap. The hay all drops out because you slice the bale in half, drop it into your feed wagon, drop it into your mixer. Just drop it out there for the cows to eat it, but you've chopped the bale in half for them, and you've got the net wrap cut off without ever getting out of the skid steer or tractor. You can get a couple different mounts for that. Super cool attachment there. But Bobcat T870, new track system, 5-link torsion suspension. This thing, I mean, I said you don't have to make your machine ride like a tank. Well, this makes it ride like a Cadillac. Unreal, the suspension that this thing does. You've got torsion axles on there. I mean, very, very cool, very, very smooth track system on a skid steer. T870, right there, that machine's weighing 13,000 pounds just sitting there. So you got a 10,000 pound tipping load on this thing. This thing is awesome. You've got auxiliary flow. If you're gonna run that Bale X-Series Mulcher, make sure you get one of these T870s. You got a lot of auxiliary flow up here. The other thing Bobcat has is all this stuff protected. You don't have extra couplers for high flow and standard flow. It's all in the same machine. They keep things simple. So guys, if you're in the market for a skid steer, Bobcat does one thing, and they make skid steers. They make some UTVs and some other little things, but this is their primary business. They don't make tractors and combines and everything else. They make skid steers. Come out, check them out. This is what you need.